me and Josie girl and Duke's back there, taking the owner that owns the Hay Squeeze let me grab his trailer. They're in Colorado right now. So he said, go get my trailer and just charge me the time or whatever. Go get it, let's get going with it. So that's why we did it. So we're gonna go take his trailer back, drop the trailer, put it back where it was, and then run to the shop and let's see if we can get that engine out of there today. It's a pretty good little hole right here. Yeah, they got a pretty nice house there. They're in Colorado. They show cows or some damn thing, and they take cows all over the country showing them. I was going down the road there, and there was some song that the entry to the song was some dogs barking, and Josie heard them dogs barking on the radio and started barking at the radio. It was kind of funny. I wish I could have caught that on video. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I wasn't even going to work today. It's actually Sunday, and my wife, her and her good friend, she needs somebody she's got some kind of big dental thing going on, and it's a ways away where the office is, and road's rough. That other way to go back in there, but I didn't. Anyway, you know, she's gonna get knocked out to do the dental work and stuff, so she's gonna need somebody to drive her back. So my wife's gonna help her out. They're gonna be gone for a day or two. So anyhow, I just figured, hell, I might as well just go do something. So I'd sit around and do nothing. Where in the hell that thing was. There should have been a couple blocks sitting there. There it was. It was backed right in there. So I might have to put my hubs in. It's a little muddy here. Let's see. Slicker than greased owl shit, isn't it? Let's see if I can angle it in here like this. Tighter than that. Okay, I got her pointing in the right direction. Now let's straighten her out. First, R for race. Come on. What are we doing? It's pretty muddy. Just back right over them two blocks. Hang on, guys, I gotta put my hubs in. It's spinning. No, stay in there, girl. Four-wheel drive. Alright. kids want out. I almost got it exactly where it was. We just go back just a touch. Are you getting out, or what are you doing? No, you don't want none of that, huh? Josie's more adventures. Just a little more. She's rocking ahead on me a little bit. Okay, girlies. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay. Everything is situated. Nothing. I think we're good to go here. All right. Where'd the girl go? There she is. Hey, girlie. Hey. He sees them quail over there. Hey, Josie Wells. Josie. She listens real good, doesn't she? Turn my hubs back out. I don't need those once I got the trailer off. I'll be fine. Come on, girlie. Hey. Looking for a place to shit, or what are you doing? Come on. Get your muddy ass in here. Well, I got a blanket on the back seat so I don't get my pickup filthy. Come on. Come on, girlie. Get your butt in there. Grab you by the snaps and get you in there. There you go. Okay. Well, that's done and over with. Let's head to the shop. It's got a JCB backhoe and a MX. That's an MX 210, I think. And then there's an MX, an old MX 110 there. Yeah, MX 210 and MX 120. Huh, interesting. Well, I'll see you at the shop. Well, we're back, and it looks like it snowed down here a little bit last night. I don't think it did anything up there at town where I'm at, the house. It snowed a little bit, but that's okay. Everything's capped off and plugged up here on the intake and everything. I mean, the only thing that's open is water, and I guess it probably won't hurt if water gets into the water. So let's start getting this thing out of there. Let's look at this. It means we know that we're going to use this setup. Now what we can do, now that we know we have a PTO on the transmission, which is way better than that front-mounted pump system that's on the current configuration in the hay squeeze, we can probably do something like this and put this water to oil cooler in the hay squeeze to cool the transmission. That can probably kind of go. So we'll save all these hoses and all this stuff. We're going to utilize all that stuff. I think it'd be very wise to do that. So I guess it's time to get our shit together and let's start getting this thing out of there. I almost want to get it out and take my pressure washer and just wash it off right here. Yeah. Okay, well let me I think I'll move my pickup and back my service truck out closer to the work and see if we can make something happen here. I think the first thing to do is get this cross member out of the way. I can basically just lift it straight up and out of there. So I think what I want to do on the discharge line for the air compressor is leave this all attached, even back to here maybe, and probably try to utilize the hose and everything that we've got here, is my thinking on that, and just take it off back here. I think that would be the simplest way to do this. That's a 1 inch. Yeah. And then I've got to get all the stuff out of the nose, that old pump. And then I'm going to kind of take a lot of that plumbing that's on there and get it out of the frame. They've got some loops of some metal there welded to where they ran their hoses and stuff through, but a lot of that stuff, like the suction line for the compressor, is not going to be there anymore. So all that stuff can be cleaned out. Okay guys, I got that cross member out of the way, so I got this discharge line off here. I'll just kind of keep it with everything. I might utilize the entire line. My method here, which is really not much of a method, I guess, it's just start my way at the back and work my way to the front, taking stuff off. So the suction line off the tank, is there a shut off? Probably not. That's way too convenient to do such things as that. Where's the suction line? It's right there and comes in that big elbow. So I guess I'll just have to see what I got for a plug. Yeah. And then let's see, what's next? We got to get the control module for the transmission. It's right here on this plate. So what do I need to do? I probably would like to, I know what I'll do. I'll unbolt it from the frame flange, and then I can get it down here where I can actually get to it a little easier to get it unplugged. Because I kind of like to unplug that and set it aside and not damage it if I can. 15. I need the 1/2 inch gun, which I forgot again to bring my darn new 1/2 inch gun down here, and I keep forgetting. I guess I need to put like a sticky note on the steering wheel or something. Switch the batteries around here. I remember when I worked for the truck shop years ago, there was an outfit called DCT Chambers. They were chip haulers, and they pulled what we called a train. That's a little bit different from an Australian train, but it was 105,000 chip trailers, and they were doubles. And they had 3-axle trucks with you talk about underpowered. They had 3-axle trucks with M11s pulling 105,000. I mean, way underpowered. And I see now they don't even use their own trucks anymore. They still have their trailers, but they just let Jippos pull their trailers because they weren't making any money. They weren't making any money with chip thing can be the hard thing to make any money on anyway. Guys always think log trucks are in rough condition. Chip trucks are always in the worst shape because they don't pay anything, and they're always in a hurry to get back to the mill. You know, that's the truth too. I think I'll use, I might utilize this plate as well. There's the transmission control module. Be nice if they would have figured out where to put it somewhere out of the road wash somewhere, but I don't know if we're going to have much of an option to even not do that because the harness is not long enough. To go much else of a place with it. Or do we just keep it on the plate? I don't want to hang it off the harness and screw something up. That's my worry. So I think I'll unplug it. It's got some kind of locks here on it. I'm going to have to get my lever or something out. Let me get a screwdriver. Just don't want to rip the wires out of the plug and then, oh, now we need a module, or I would kind of like all that kind of stuff to be plug and play, and once we get this thing installed and get everything lined out and start the wiring process, we don't have to chase down modules or anything like that. This looks like a module out of a Chevy pickup. Duramax. How does this lock work? How can I break another lock? Okay. Oh, I didn't break it, but it. I went too far with it. Okay. Okay. I have to put that lock back in there now that I know kind of how it works. Well, they do come clear out. It's just the way they are, I guess, huh? Either that or I'm doing something wrong. Okay. That one's actually upside down. That's great, man. That's really cool. Can I even get to it to get it off without taking the module loose from the plate? I'm not certain about that. There's another one there locks. I might be able to get it. Squeeze the tab here and get a screwdriver back in here and see if I can. This one's not wanting to unlock. Of course, the hard one to get to is not going to unlock. There it goes. I got it without destroying it. Alright, there's our transmission control module. Let's put all these back in here. This one here did not come out very easy. Okay, so that's all free. We like freedom. We like it. There's the plate for the transmission, the identification plate, the serial number. Okay, let's go put this in the bumper of the truck. Definitely need that. Boy, they even color coordinated. Blue, gray, black. Cool. Alright, this should make it pretty easy. Going back together anyway. Okay, so we got that loose. That harness will all kind of hang out there with that. So I guess the next thing that I can do is, I think I'll leave this on for now until I get a hold of it with the crane and then I'll bolt it there. That way I don't have to mess around with this exhaust too much. I might as well get some Panther piss and squirt on here and let it soak for just a little bit. Kind of be a little bit prepared for when I take it loose. You know, these, like the CM870s, I like the air-operated VGT turbo. The only problems that you have, I haven't, maybe some of you other guys have run into it more than I have, but all the old 870s with the ISXs, with the air-operated VGT turbos, you didn't have near as many problems as you do with these newer ones with the actual VGT electronic actuator that's mounted right on the turbo. The only problems that I've had with this style is the control line coming off here that supplies air to the actual VGT part of that turbo. I've had these air lines get holes in them before, and then they wouldn't act right, but it was pretty easy to diagnose. It seems to me the electronic style seems to have quite a few problems. I mean, they're always acting up. So what are these wires here? I can't even, they go over, it's not a wire, that's an air line. Okay, so that's going to there. We don't need that. We're not worried about the old air horn there. Not worried about that either. So let's get the turbo unmounted there. Then everything with the exception of the mount is loose. And the nut on the bottom side. And of course that air line's right up against the nut where you can't hardly get on it. Of course, why would it be any other way? And yeah. And just getting all the battery stuff that's cables going to the starter. I'm gonna try to just leave it on there for now. I'll take it off once I get it out. It'll make it easier putting that back in that machine. I've got the serial number here. I'm gonna call Tom tomorrow at Cummins and just tell him to order me a front sump pan for this thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and do that because I know I'm gonna need it. And let's see here. I'm going to, let's see, this is the discharge line on the PTO pump. Get that off of there. Is that a swivel or what do we got going on here? Doesn't appear to be a swivel. Oh, there it is. It's swiveling now. Yeah, it's not a very, doesn't look to be a very good bigger displacement pump. That's on here. I think maybe we ought to let's get some caps, plugs. The GIC stuff should be here somewhere. One of those, and then maybe. Okay. And that suction line has got a hose clamp on it. Trying to decide what is going to be the easiest way to do that without making the least amount of mess. I guess I can get my plastic little plug kit and try to get that off of there and plug that. And once I get that done, then I can get both mounts here loose. I got the fuel lines off. These fuel lines, we're gonna do away with this special little quick connect bullshit here. I hope I can, hopefully these fittings come off real simple like, and there's some kind of standard type deal to where we can put a regular fitting on that and do away with the quick connect horse shit. And then power steering, I guess take the pressure line going to, from the pump going to the steering gear box loose and just plug it there. Be easier than trying to reach down in there. And then I'll just unbolt the reservoir and leave the suction line on there and just kind of tie it up over here when I pull it out. And then, let's see here, the cooler lines from the transmission going to this, I'll just take them loose here and we'll plug them. Maybe I'll just go ahead and knock that out right now. Okay. So let's see if I've got enough plugs to do that. Yeah, I should. Get that thing plugged off. We're going to use this cooler, so we want to keep it from getting full of contaminants, especially on that automatic transmission. It doesn't take much to screw one of those up. Daughter was home for Christmas for about 2 weeks. It was kind of, really enjoyed that, to be honest with you. I miss her being off to college, and I just miss her. Wish she was around more. Right, that is done. What's that? That's going to be a number 8 plug and cap on that one. Think about it. It's really simple stuff like JIC. The weather didn't turn out too bad today. Good day to get this thing out of here. Get her inside, and the next thing to do is start kind of getting shy on caps, ain't I? I need to start getting all that plumbing and stuff ripped out of that, like that old pump, and that we're not going to be using that front mounted pump. And I keep getting people asking me, why don't I just rebuild the 290? The owner doesn't want the 290 anymore. That's the reason. And I really don't blame him. I know some of you guys don't like these electronic engines. These older electronic ones, this one doesn't have too much emission. The only thing it has is an EGR. But other than that, these old M11s here were really reliable, really easy to diagnose. Like I said, they've got unit injectors in them. I like them. This is an 11-liter engine that will walk circles around that old piece of shit 290, and they'll have way more power. than that 290 ever thought of having. I didn't like the old 290s. I didn't like the 220s, especially the naturally aspirated 220s. What a piece of shit those things were. I mean, just smoking and just... I never cared for them. Some of you old guys might like the old 290s. Not a big fan. I thought they were just great big old boat anchors. They were real heavy and didn't have much power. Maybe for their day they did. They had power, but in comparison to the modern day stuff like this thing, I mean, this M11 will walk circles around that thing all day long. I got some kind of shit smeared on the... I was just gonna unbolt this. Okay. Is that, and I can just take that ground loose right there. It appears to be like a 3/8 bolt in it. And then I just got to deal with that suction line under there. So all I've got left is the suction line, this mount, and this ground. And then this suction line going, we'll just take the whole, we'll just unbolt it right here. Let the reservoir and everything come up with it. And then everything on this side will be done and off. What about this side? So we got the transmission control module. We got that situation handled. We just basically got this mount here. What else? Is there anything tied? Really, we get the exhaust off. This is something else. I don't know. We'll have to see where this winds up. You know, there is an actual existing hole in that side panel on that squeeze that neck came out of in the exhaust. I don't know. It would be nice to be able to just keep it. It really would. It'd just make things a lot simpler instead of trying to find a dipstick that was shorter or whatever, you know. It would be a lot easier. I guess a guy could try to find a shorter fill tube with a dipstick, maybe that came up by the floor plate, maybe cut a hole in the floor plate and you could pull the dipstick out or something. I don't know. I haven't crossed it, or haven't got that bridge to even cross it yet, so I got it one piece at a time, and it cost me a lot of dimes. You know the old Johnny Cash song. Well, it cost him a lot of dimes. Lower hose on the radiator is going right into that, isn't it? Yep. Okay. Well, the radiator and everything's off. You wouldn't think there'd be much coolant or anything like that in there. So exhaust mount, lower hose coming off that cooler. I need to unbolt the cooler and take it out anyway because we're going to use it. We're definitely going to use that. How is that bolted in there? Oh, I got an ear on it here and another one over here. And I think that's all that's holding that thing on there, I think. There's some kind of... Wait a second. There's some kind of bracket here on the bottom, too, where it kind of saddles into it. So, yeah. Okay. Well, we're getting there. Patience, Daniel, son. May the force be with you. Oh, it's not even the same movie. 7/16. Just thinking out loud here what all I've got going on. Sorry about that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this cooler out. I got that hose off the bottom of it, but somebody had already taken. Hang on, damn it! As soon as I get situated here. That was the owner of this. Just wondering if everything went okay yesterday with the trailer and everything. So I said, you don't have to work on that today. I'm not in that big a hurry. I said, hell, my wife's gone. I'd just be working at home doing something around there, so I might as well come down here and try to make a little money. Try to make some money that ain't worth anything.
Get out of there now. Get in there and cook that possum like I said. Some people don't know where that comes from, that saying. Some people are well versed in that. Get on out of there. Okay, will that slide off of there, or what else? I guess, oh, that bracket is actually welded to that. That's cool. All right. I did not realize that. I thought it just kind of sat on that little L bracket, and that's all it did, but no, it is part of it. Oh, piece of shit. Ow, that end wrench hit me right in the fucking face. That was cool. Because of this fucking battery. Their batteries suck. Good tool, but the batteries are horrible in these things. They need to find a better way and re-engineer the hold down and latch for the battery so it doesn't tear the tool up and everything so much. But okay, hoses. Okay. Okay. Got that out of the way. Now we can I think it's time to pull an engine out. I've been pulling a lot of engines out here lately, you know it? Seems to be a quite frequent thing with me here lately. That son of a bitch hit me right in the face. Kind of pissed me off a little bit. Kind of wanted to punch the bastard. Then I would just hurt my hand. That'd have been even madder. Back here. Yeah. Okay. Now these are cracking. I'm gonna cut this one zip tie. I didn't realize it was attached to the frame. Got all the battery cables and all that stuff. Back. rip that hose off and get that hose on the other side of that mount. Okay, how about the other side? That is a big old heavy Allison transmission on there, you know what? That son of a bitch is a big old heavy thing. I think we'll be okay there. And watch that one wire, see that? Okay. Resituated here, folks. Get these cables underneath the frame. So, didn't work very good, did it? Get her close to the ground in a hurry. Don't like hanging out up in the air too long. What's leaking on the transmission? We can't go. I'm not going to let the rest of that weight off because I saw that pan squish. We're not going to be using that pan, but I mean, that's still a good pan, so there's no sense in being, just because you're not going to use it, ruining the thing. But the owner, I just got off the phone with him and he said, hey, if there's any leaks that you see, fix them before we stick it in there. So something is going on here. The fill tube is leaking on it. Yeah, you can see it's over that. Other than that, I don't really see. I mean, PTO pump's a little bit greasy. And you can tell that it looks almost like the pan has been leaking on it, which we're going to rectify that problem because we're going to be putting another pan on it. I'm going to put a front sump pan on it before I even put the engine in. While we're out here, sitting here, I'm going to pressure wash this thing off, get it all cleaned up. And you know, when this thing got rolled, I'm wondering, did it break these bolts or what's going on here? Did it break them off in there? Did they? It's almost looked like they took them out. I seeing daylight through that hole when I... Well, it's hard to say whether they took them out or what the hell the deal is, or they broke off in there. Another thing I want to do, I want to kind of get an overall length from the yoke to here and see length difference between the 290 with the 13 speed versus the Allison and the M11. Okay, I'll kind of show you what I'm thinking about here as I'm... Oh, that sun kind of starts going over the horizon there, and it cools down in a hurry. Go turn that light on so I can show you what is going through my pea brain here about this situation. Yeah, that light's run off the breaker off the panel. That's the way it was when I got here. Basically, this old building was kind of abandoned. I mean, they were gonna demo it. I thought, geez, man, it's got a roof. It's got a lot of room. I'll use it. Anyway, this is gonna all come out of there now. Now that we know we've got a setup that we can put on there. That pump just on that other one, that pump appears to be way... This is an old commercial pump. Those are good pumps, man. Good old cast iron heavy pump. But that can come off. This mount, bracket plate, all that shit can come out of there. What'd they do? Did they put like the ratio valve here or something for the steer axle? Is this got steer axle brakes on it? It does. So that's the ratio valve right there for the steer axle brakes, I believe. Or is that hydraulic? What is that? What is this valve doing right here? Right here. What is that doing? I believe that's something to do with hydraulics. Why are they going clear around and looping around, and what the hell is the deal there? So there's where the air dryer's mounted. I don't know if I want to keep that in the same spot. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do know for certain that this setup is going to completely come out of there. I'm going to do away with that. And then we'll have a lot more room to figure out what we're going to actually do. I was kind of thinking about the mount on the front of this. I don't even think the bolt pattern is even remotely close to being the same. They are not. So that really isn't going to work. It would be nice if it did. Because I think I'm going to set that one, because our length difference, kind of a rough idea. I've got about I think a 2 to 3 inch difference. I think that one's 2 to 3 inches shorter than this setup. So, that in mind, I would kind of almost like to set this in the same spot. We got to think this through, though. You know, now that this is not going to be here, radiator could almost, be in the same spot. I wonder if we could kind of do something with a charger cooler in this area now. The problem we're going to have with the charge air cooler setup is the width. Most charge air cooler necks come around the sides of the radiator and go back. We almost need to drop the radiator down a little bit, which I don't know. I guess I could drop the engine down a little bit, maybe. Trying to think this through here. I'm not going to be able to really tell a whole lot until I can actually get the front sump pan on it and get it sat in here. So, I've got plenty of stuff to do now. We can get this pump set up out of there. We don't need this. This old pump was air. This is the piston. This is the air-operated piston that ran that. This basically turned the hydraulics on. This is the suction side here. So basically, it would shut the suction off on the pump. And this is obviously the discharge side of the pump. So, all this shit can come out of here too. This hose, we don't need that in there anymore. The suction line's going to have to be, well, that PTO pump is going to be on this side.
So we need a way shorter setup than what we got here, and I don't even know on the fittings yet. That one's just got a hose barb on it with a way smaller suction line. I don't think we need that big of a suction line in there. Hey, you know what? They got a valve on that. They got a gate valve, I think, back there. I don't have a light handy. Let's turn the phone on. That's pretty. That's actually very good news, because I was sitting there thinking about that. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to pump the tank out and dick around with that. But it really appears to me that they've got a giant gate valve on this tank setup here. There's a whole lot of shit we got to do here. I mean, all this linkage for the clutches and all that shit needs to come out of here. There's no need in having all that shit in here if you're not going to be using it. Let's see. Yeah. What do we got here? What do we got? Oh, look at that. Damn, these guys were actually thinking pretty good. They got gate valve. So I see what the hell they were doing. So they were running their power steering off the main hydraulic tank as well. But here is a big gate valve right here. She's a greasy one. So we'll just have to pull the hose off here, take it clear out of the setup. And I'm not sure about I kind of like the idea of running the power steering circuit suction line off here. I kind of like that idea, to be honest with you, and doing away with the little reservoir, which is actually, I might wind up just doing that and keeping that line, to be honest with you. So, but I mean, definitely, let's see, it's got a big JIC fitting on it as well, but definitely we know this big hose is coming out of there. The discharge line is going to have to come out. It comes off the pump. All that's going to be changed. A lot of this stuff is going to be coming out of there. AC stuff, we'll just have to separate it from the rest of the stuff and do something else with it. I'm trying to turn my light off on my phone because I'll forget about it. The son of a bitch will be dead on me. This is all AC stuff. I see that one AC line is run through the loop and one's not, so they probably changed one over the years and didn't run it back through the loop here they've got in it. So what is all this shit here? A bunch of this is stuff going down to here. That's got to be air. That looks like an air valve to me. That does not look like a hydraulic valve. So what is all that stuff doing? I thought I saw a brake pod on this. Yes, it has steer axle brakes. So that stuff's got to be running. Yeah, that stuff's got to be running. That's air lines, and it's running to this. One of them anyway. What are all these other ones doing? Trying to figure this out. There's quite a few airlines in there. What are those? What are we doing here? What do we need that much airlines plumbed places for? I'm not really getting that, but I guess I'll just kind of take it one piece at a time. Then I'm got to figure out what's doing what and what's going where, and start removing the stuff that I don't need and kind of remove the clutter from the entire system. But I'm really very thankful that we're getting away from this front pump setup. It's just a cluster. Those are. They take up room. They're always turning. They're always working. Well, I guess not really. To be completely honest with you, if I had my way of doing things and I was really setting one up, I would set mine up as a closed center hydraulic setup with load sense setup on it with a valve block on it. That's what I would do. I think it's just 100 times better than a gear pump type setup. A lot of you old timers, I know you like your old open center gear pumps. They're simple. If you know the closed center setups like I do, I'm just used to them. I don't know. I just like them better. They're just they seem way more efficient than they do on these. That's just my opinion. I guess opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. So anyway, I guess I'll head back out there because my daylight is fading on me, and we'll clean that up with the pressure washer. I'm thinking about actually just setting it inside the door with the crane and putting stuff up and going home for the evening. And then I've got a excavator that I got to go work on tomorrow morning. I had a bunch of shit to do. It's just, it never ends. Never ends. It just never ends, guys. All right, well, hope you enjoyed that little bit of a video there. Wasn't too involved, but you kind of know where we're going on this, I guess. Let me see, how do I get off here without ending up in a big old pile of shit on the floor? I don't bend the way I used to bend, and I sure hell don't like jumping off of shit anymore. There's the 3126 that we're not going to use. There's look how much bigger that transmission, that 4000 series in comparison to that one. Look how much bigger this thing is out here. I mean, it's a way better setup for him, what he's doing. Yes, I like this much better. Much better. Way better setup. So, anyways. Well, guys, I appreciate all the suggestions on the comment section. Some of you guys are pretty handy with that. Do these fittings, that's another thing. I wonder, is this fitting part of the elbow, or is this fitting this one too? What size do you think that is? We might be able to find that out real quick. Let me see if I can break the son of a bitch, huh? Looks like about a 1 inch or something like that. Kind of curious to see. I'm wondering if I can just put fittings on there and get rid of the quick connect horse shit they got on there. It's bigger than that. Must be like 1/16 or something. How about crescent wrench? How about that? Instead of looking for that wrench for an hour, we just got a crescent wrench. We'll see if we'll... I can't imagine why they would put a hex on there if it didn't come loose, you know? Why put a hex on there? But, you know, they do some really stupid shit, so... Nope, that does not. That appears that that's part of that elbow. That is all part of that. Because I'm afraid that, yeah, I don't want to keep tweaking on that and destroy that. So it almost appears that, I don't know, you got to change that whole elbow. It's got a CompuCheck fitting right there, it looks like. And then this one here too. Golly, nah, that's gotta come off of there. Wouldn't you think? It's gotta come off of there. Just afraid I'm pulling on her pretty hard. I'm afraid I'm gonna break that elbow off. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm gonna tear something up. I know my luck. I'll break the bastard off in the back of that gear pump, and then, yeah, I'll be buying a gear pump. So, well, alright guys, tomorrow's another day. I'm just gonna, actually, it ain't hurting nothing right here. Everything's capped and plugged on it, even if it rains or snows a little bit. It ain't gonna hurt nothing. Everything's plugged off. I'm gonna take some blocks and put them up here on the front half, and then take the weight off of it. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright guys, I'll see you on the next one.